Facebook and all of that. Thank you, Trish, for being there. So, welcome to the first Guide Collective book club gathering. So today we are going to be talking about Ernest Hemingway and his first novel, The Sun Also Rises. We are in Pamplona, in the main square of the city called Plaza del Castillo. It was 1923, July 6, when Ernest Hemingway arrived to Pamplona for the very first time. He stopped exactly where I am right now, because back then we didn't have a bus stop. We didn't have a bus station, we had a bus stop in the center of the square. He came without a hotel, and he needed a hotel. And the first thing he saw, it was right in front of me. This beautiful hotel called Hotel La Perla, which is where we are coming in. So let's walk in. The issue is that back then in 1923, this was not a super fancy hotel. There was another hotel called Montoya, which is on the other side of the street, but he could not afford that. So the thing is that he came over here, and today it is the only 5-star hotel we have in town. Hi, everybody. Okay, coming in. Hola, Dani. Hello. So one of the great things about this incredible hotel is that they still preserve some historical things. Probably the most important thing that they have is Hemingway's room, which is on the second floor. We're going right away. But here they have this poster from 1923, the year that Ernest Hemingway came to town. Okay. Also, they preserve the old telephone booth that I love so much. And this mailbox, which is still functioning. It's our original mailbox from 1912, okay? It's a beautiful little hotel. But the thing is that where we're going is to Hemingway's room. Hopefully, we will not lose any connection here, okay? Okay, where am I? Okay, so hi, everybody. Now I can take my mask off. We're going to the second floor, where we have room 201, which is Hemingway's room, okay? At this moment, the hotel is temporarily closed, okay? So they have opened just for us. We have the key. And let's walk into Ernest Hemingway's room. Okay, so here's 201. Long time ago, when Hemingway was here, it was 217, okay? And let's walk in. Oops, close the door. And I love this room because it is exactly the way it was in 1923 when Ernest Hemingway was here. Okay. Check this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful room. Now, obviously, it has all the technological things. You have Wi-Fi, you have plasma TV, but all the furniture, it's original from that time period. Okay. The reason why Ernest Hemingway wanted this room was he's a very clever guy. He wanted, let me open the balcony for a sec. From here, you get an amazing view of the streets of the Running of the Bulls. This street down here is the street of the Running of the Bulls. That corner over there is what the New York Times called Dead Man's Corner, okay? So the Running of the Bulls takes place all around this street, and he had the perfect view of all of it. Okay? As you can see, we still have the street lights, the Christmas street lights on, because it's still Christmas here, okay? We celebrate Epiphany, so we'll still have 3 more days for Christmas. Tomorrow, all the kids will get all the presents. So here we are, Hemingway's room, and here's where we're going to be talking about Ernest Hemingway. Let me make myself a little bit comfortable because it's way hot in here. Okay. It was so cold in the city. So right now I'm sitting in Hemingway's desk. I think it's incredible that they allow us to do something like this. This is the place where Ernest Hemingway used to sit and take notes to write his first novel, The Sun Also Rises. Okay? As I told you, he came here in 1923. Okay? Whoops, the other way. Today, what I want to do is I want to explain you a little bit of what is Hemingway for the literary world. You have to think that, especially in American literature, well, by the way, we're with Hemingway. I have an amazing glass of wine that the people from the hotel just brought me. Thank you. Salute with everybody. Life is wonderful. So, let's go to 1920s. Okay, Ernest Hemingway has gone to the First World War, and he was a driver of an ambulance, and he had an accident. And right after the First World War, he went to Paris. Like many other writers, they're called the Lost Generation. This Lost Generation, the name was given by American poetess Gertrude Stein, the surrealist writer Gertrude Stein. Do you remember the poem, "The rose, a rose is a rose, a rose is a rose, a rose is"? Well, that famous poem is from her. And all of these young writers, they were around her because she was a very powerful woman, very strong character, but she knew how to lead the potential of all of these young writers and artists into the future. She is the one who led Pablo Picasso into Cubism, for example. And she saw the potential of Ernest Hemingway, okay? This group of people, they were called the Lost Generation, as I said. And Gertrude is the one who told Ernest Hemingway, you are a good journalist, you need to go to Pamplona. And there's something strange going on there. I know you know about bullfighting. Go that way, and you will change, and you will find inspiration to write a very good first novel. Okay? So in 1923, he flew from Paris to Biarritz on the French Basque coast, and they took a bus from Biarritz to a small village on the border called Bourguete. He didn't come by himself. He came with his first wife, Hedley Richardson, that, by the way, she was pregnant. If you want to read another book of this time period, there's a great book called The Paris Wife, and it's Hedley Richardson's point of view, okay, of her knowing and falling in love with Ernest Hemingway and that tumultuous relationship. So anyway, the couple stayed in Bourguete, and Hemingway, who was a great fisherman, he found amazing rivers to fish. Okay, so he stayed there, the couple stayed there for some days, and finally they arrived here to the city of Pamplona. He was welcomed at the hotel by the grandparents of the actual owners of the hotel. This is still run by the same family. And the thing is that Hedley, especially, she was not feeling very well. She was like, she was pregnant. So she decided to stay in the hotel. And she told Ernest, honey, you can go. Well, you don't tell Ernest Hemingway to go to a big party because he went. He didn't return to the hotel in about 3 days. So he had a ball. He wrote many articles about Pamplona and the running of the bulls. And he said that he ran with the bulls. There's not one image or anything that we can confirm that he ran with the bulls. What we know is that he saw somebody dying. On the first day he was running of the bulls, he saw somebody dying. I was super impressive to him. And all of this chaotic ambience in the city of Pamplona led him to write The Sun Also Rises. By the way, the original title for you guys is The Sun Also Rises, but it's not the original title. The original title of the book, here I have it in Spanish, it's called Fiesta in Spanish. The thing is that when he wrote the manuscript, he handed it to Scott Fitzgerald, the one who wrote The Great Gatsby, much more famous writer at that time already. And Scott Fitzgerald is the one who told him, nobody is going to understand what on earth the word fiesta is. We didn't have Google Translator back then. So Ernest Hemingway changed the title to The Sun Also Rises, except in the Spanish version. In the Spanish version, we still keep the original one, which is called Fiesta. Okay. The thing is that Hemingway changed the way of writing, especially if we think about American way of writing. Right before Ernest, we find Scott Fitzgerald. Okay, Scott Fitzgerald has written The Great Gatsby. Probably you all have read The Great Gatsby. It's an amazing book. I love it. It's probably one of my favorite books. The thing is that The Great Gatsby, the way Scott Fitzgerald writes, it's very sumptuous writing. It's a very voluptuous writing. There's all the details are going to be there. You know, when he explains how Daisy is laying on the couch and the sunlight touches her pale skin, and everything is super detailed, and Scott Fitzgerald puts you in there. Okay, so it's a great way of explaining. Suddenly, Ernest Hemingway in 1923, he comes here, and 1926, the book is published. Okay, so the thing is that he is a journalist, and being a journalist, he doesn't have too much space to write, so each word has to be perfectly chosen. Okay, so Ernest Hemingway, he writes very short sentences. I have a little sentence that he said. He said that the way he writes, it's the iceberg theory. Okay, and he said, facts float over the water while the structure and symbolism work out of our sight. So when you read The Sun Also Rises, you will see how fast he writes. Okay, in one paragraph, Jake, the main character, he is in bed, he gets dressed, he comes down, he gets a beer, and he's drunk. In one paragraph. While Scott Fitzgerald would have told you how the light was coming, if it was a gloomy day, if it was a rainy day, if the room was clean or if it was tidy. So there's a big difference of what is the way it's explained. Okay. In the book, when you start reading the book, the main character is Jake. Okay, but it's just a thread. He intentionally leaves this is a sentence I read yesterday. He intentionally leaves an emotional space between the writer and the main character. That way, us, the readers, can relate directly with the character, and there's no intermission with the eyes of the writer. So he wants us to connect directly with the characters, okay, with Lady Brett and what's going on with the relationship of the two of them. He doesn't want his brain or his mind to be between the characters and us, the readers. Okay, so those are the two most important ways he breaks the way of writing. He's fast, he's a journalist, but also he steps behind the book so we can feel directly whatever we feel. Okay, so the book is all about that. It's about making you feel, and there's a passion in the book. The book is full of unsolved sexual tension that we find out quite early in the book what happens. I'm going to reread it. Here in Spain, or at least in Pamplona, in my school, we had, I don't quite remember when in high school, probably like freshman or sophomore, we had like a semester of international reading. So every week or every 2 weeks, we read a book from a different country. Normally, I have friends from other cities and they have read The Grapes of Wrath or The Great Gatsby. Here in Pamplona, I think it's mandatory to read The Sun Also Rises. So our literature teacher made us read The Sun Also Rises. I was probably like 15, something like that. I didn't get it. In fact, I didn't like it at all. I have read it a couple of times later in my life, and every time I read The Sun Also Rises, well, in fact, every time I read something from Hemingway, I find something new. I relate, depending on how I feel in my life or what's going on in my life, I relate with one of the characters or another of the characters. So I'm quite thrilled to start reading this book again. As you can see, I have already taken some notes, so I'm going to take it very slowly to read it again. I want to see what brings to me this time. Okay, I think this is going to be like fourth or fifth time I'm reading The Sun Also Rises. So I think it's pretty cool. What else? Salud. Well, this is one of the drinks he used to have here. We have a lot of. I asked the people at the hotel if they could lend me the ticket from his stay, one of his stays here in Pamplona. Unfortunately, they cannot let us see that. I've seen it, and there's a lot of red wine, a lot of rosé wine, there's a lot of anise and absinthe, which was a fashionable drink back then. Okay, so beside the room, he had some extras, most of them alcohol. So what else about Ernest Hemingway? He's a journalist. He's I have taken some notes, so I know where I'm going. There's 75% of his work are very simple sentences where the syntax is very basic. Okay, so facts are super relevant. So you have to be very aware of this when you read any of Hemingway's books. Everything is going to be like pa, 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 very fast, but you cannot skip one sentence. Okay, there are books that you can read them diagonally, and it's like these ones you have to read them from the beginning to the end, and you will see that you read it very fast. Okay, it's a very fast way of writing, and it's a very fast way of reading. Ernest Hemingway, that's what he did. He changed the way of reading. Before Scott Fitzgerald, when you read Scott Fitzgerald, you read it slowly. You take your time. You have to let yourself feel the sun coming through the window. It's the whole thing of Scott Fitzgerald. And Ernest Hemingway, he's much faster. He's like, poof, poof, poof. And in fact, that is why he got the Nobel Prize for Literature. In 1954, he got the Nobel Prize for his whole career. Okay, more than for all his career, it was because he changed the way of writing. Okay? Before Hemingway, there's one way of writing. After Hemingway, there's another way of writing. People like, I don't know, J.K. Rowling, oh God, Dan Brown, the name was gone. They have said publicly that they have learned the way of writing from Ernest Hemingway's books. Okay, the way of writing that when you read, I don't know, any Harry Potter book, it's very fast and very, there's a lot of action. Boom, boom, boom. That is the Hemingway style. Okay, so that's why he got the Nobel Prize. He also got the Pulitzer Award for his, to me, most beautiful book, which is The Old Man and the Sea. Okay, if we think about Ernest Hemingway's literature, we could divide it in three different stages. Okay, we have the Spanish part, the Cuban part, and the African part. In the Spanish part, I always say that I would love to say that his best book is The Sun Also Rises. There's not. I think the best one is For Whom the Bells Toll. That there's a great movie about it. So if you want to know from The Sun Also Rises, it's right before the Spanish Civil War. For Whom the Bells Toll, sorry, it is Spanish Civil War. You will see the transition of a country. So both books are, let's say, complementary one or the other. Okay, if you don't want to read For Whom the Bells Toll, you can watch the movie. A fun fact is that the Civil War was won by Franco, and Hemingway was not very happy with Franco. When the movie was released, it was 1940s, 1945, something like that. And it was not viewed in Spain until 1975, when Franco died. We were not allowed to watch For Whom the Bells Toll. Also, many of Hemingway's books, they were not allowed in Spain. Okay? So we didn't know how famous he was until Franco died. Okay? So that is the time period you need to set yourself. It's the period between the two big wars, and it's we're heading to Spanish Civil War. So that about the Spanish part. The Cuban part, it's where we have the Old Man and the Sea. It is a metaphor in life. It's about super complex book. I mean, it's a very simple book. It's not a huge book, but it's very complex because there's a lot of him inside of the book. That, in fact, is another of Hemingway's characteristics. When he writes, it's not that he writes from his heart. He writes his heart. He writes what he is, what he's living. Okay. The book that we're reading this month, The Sun Also Rises, it is pretty much what he did in life. Okay. The characters, they're in Paris. He is a journalist. They go to Biarritz, they fly to Biarritz. They come to Burguete and they stay in Burguete to go fishing. Okay. And then they come to Pamplona. So it is pretty much all what he did. Okay. And then the third stage of Ernest Hemingway's writing, it is the African part. And to me, I love The Snows of Kilimanjaro. Okay, it's a beautiful, beautiful book. So there is a lot to be said about Ernest Hemingway. A lot of people talks about his life and about what a bad person he was. I personally, I think he was a very sensible person who didn't know how to express himself very well, except writing. So in his personal life, he was a very harsh, he looked as a very harsh person. But some other people, they say he was funny, he was easygoing. Once in a while, he was super strong and super distant. So all of these ups and downs is what his life was all about. He could be up here one day, next down, up, down. All of these emotions, he could not deal with them easily. And unfortunately, he committed suicide on July 2nd, 1961, in his house in Idaho. One of the, for us, the people in the city of Pamplona, one of the things that we love about Ernest Hemingway is that when he committed suicide, we don't know why, bureaucratics in the United States or in Idaho, whatever, they were not able to bury him until July 6th, which is the day of the opening ceremony of the Riding of the Bulls. So what we say is that Ernest waited for the Riding of the Bulls to be buried. So for us, it's, I don't know. I know it's a stupid little thing, but I think we love, I mean, personally, I love this guy dearly. Okay, I think he was an amazing writer. He was an amazing character. I've had the pleasure of meeting one of his grandkids. He's super fun guy. So that's pretty much all I wanted to let you with as an introduction to the guidebook and to the Hemingway image, to the Hemingway person. Once again, here at Hemingway's room in Hotel La Perla. Unfortunately, I cannot read if you guys are leaving any questions, but if you have any questions while you're reading the book, if you have any comments, if you want to have a chat, send me a direct message, send us in Guide Collective, any talks, any things you may want to talk about. Really give us a talk and we'll talk about it. We want to have this book club as fluid, and we want to talk with all of you. So please ask us anything. If we know it, we'll let you know. If we don't, we'll research about that. Okay. And once again, as I told you, the way Ernest writes, it's very personal, and it's each one of us, we're going to feel something different, and each one of us, we're going to connect with one or other of the characters. Okay, so we will see you, everybody, on January 25th at the same time at 8 o'clock. We will not be here. We not at the Hotel La Perla. We're gonna go to a different place. I will be hosting a Zoom meeting with each one of you. Everybody's invited. You have to book in. Sorry, we'll share with you the Zoom link. So ask for it if you want it. And I will be broadcasting from Café Iruña, which is Hemingway's favorite place in town to party. Okay, so we'll be hopefully broadcasting from there. And have your questions ready. If you have any questions or anything, once again, please get in touch with us, with Guide Collective, with me personally, whoever, because we really want to hear about what you think about the book, what you're reading, and we'll keep you updated about the book and everything. So, Trish, I love your background.
Hi. Oh, can you see it? Okay, so hi, everybody. I'm joining in with Fran. So first of all, apologies to everybody for the technical difficulties, but we've got it all sorted out. Thank you for sticking with us. Actually, Fran, you have quite a few people who are watching you, and it actually works out nice this way because we can have a little quick dialogue and we can jump in with these questions and then do one last wrap up with some information for everybody about Guide Collective. So let's just give a shout out, first of all, to some of the people that are watching. So Nina is watching, Laura Worf, Jorge, of course, is watching, Leslie,
hi, Leslie,
here with us. Hi, Mary McLaughlin saying hi from Arizona, Andrea out in California. Linda is with us. Patricia Woodwin is saying hi to us. Cesar, is in Madrid and is saying hello. Hi there. And Francesca is from Benalmádena.
Benalmádena, it's in Spain.
Yeah. And then let's see, Barbara is checking us out as well. And everybody seems to be very excited about this, and I'm glad they could tune in. We want to make sure that you guys know if this is a whole brand new thing. So Fran is basically our guinea pig. You guys are our guinea pigs for this book club and adventure that we're going on together. And I think this is a really great book for us to start with. And kudos to you and Hotel La Perla for setting this up. I cannot believe that you got to be inside his room and you're just hanging out like, I'm on drink my wine, as you do, you know. So,
it's amazing. So cool. And they warmed the room for us. It's like, oh my God, guys, you're so super nice. I mean, it's an incredible present. Sure.
The only problem is you're setting the bar really high for the rest of our guys who are going to be doing this. I know. Number one.
Too bad.
So every month, you guys, this is what's going to happen. We're going to have a different guide presenting a brand new book for us to share and explore through together, generally with a travel related theme or something that's particular to their country, where they guide, or someplace that's special to them. We even have one of our own guides, Ben Curtis, who is an author. We're going to be reading through one of his books. So this is so exciting, and we're all really eager to be with you guys as book enthusiasts, as travel enthusiasts, to share in this experience, because so much of what we do as travelers, as guides, in ways of communicating and reaching out to the world and becoming a part of that, has so much to do not just with the actual places that you go to, but the interpretations of that and other people's experiences and how they then relate that to us. So this is such a cool way. And I'm really thankful that Fran has put so much effort and is sharing his expertise and knowledge and passion about this book with us. Thank you so much, Fran.
Thank you. It's been fun. It's been great. Re-researching and starting to read again the book. I mean, I read it last time like 4 or 5 years ago, and I'm quite excited to read it again.
So now I have to admit, it's been probably 30 years at least since the last time that I read the book. So I'm definitely going to follow along. I've got my copy. And if you guys haven't gotten your copy yet, of course, you can get it at your local bookstore, which would be great to help out your local vendors. But if you want to help out Guide Collective, we do have a program. And if you go through bookshop.org or through Amazon and purchase your copy of The Sun Also Rises through either of those vendors. And that helps out Guide Collective and helps take care of all of the management things that we need to do and putting all of this content together and making things all brand new for you. So if you can help out that way, that would be great. You can go to guide-collective.com where you can learn all about our brand new book club. There's a page dedicated specifically to The Sun Also Rises, so you can find out more information about that, including when our next event is, as Fran mentioned, on Monday, January 25th. Same bat channel, same bat time. Fingers crossed that no technical difficulties.
Hopefully.
But, 11 o'clock a.m. Pacific time, we will be doing a Zoom. And all of you, as he mentioned, are invited. You do need to email theguidecollective@gmail.com in order to get that Zoom link. I will send that out by January 24th, and then you just are a part of it. And as we mentioned, you should bring your own wine, you should bring your own jamon, you should bring your own snacks or whatever, because Hemingway would certainly do it. Fran, I'm sure, is going to have some kind of something as you guys are chatting up the discussion of the book.
Yeah. And so for the 25th, get some wine, because this always loses out. We can talk.
I mean, it might be 11 a.m. for you, or those of you who are in Hawaii, it'll be, God knows what time, 6 in the morning, who knows.
Way too early.
But it's 5 o'clock somewhere. So bring that. Be prepared with your questions. And as he mentioned, if you have questions for him, you can direct message him. What's your Facebook page? At
Francisco Glaría Baines. We can put a link into it, or just Guide Collective.
You can message us here. There is a comment thread that is in the dedicated page for The Sun Also Rises on our website. So you can leave messages there, leave comments, questions, whatever. And then throughout the month, we'll also kind of be interspersing our feed with kind of motivational things to get you reading, like you got to move to the next chapter. Let's go on and kind of help pull you along to get you to January 25th for the big group discussion.
Okay, so I think that's all.
I think that's it. Thanks again, everybody, for joining us. Huge thanks. Muchísimas gracias a ti, Fran.
Thank you, everybody. It's been a great pleasure. Hopefully you have enjoyed, learned a little bit about Ernest Hemingway, and let's enjoy the book, which is the best thing we can do. Pay tribute to the guy and read it.
Take care, everybody, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you, Trish, for being there.
My pleasure. Ciao.
See you.